Hi, everyone. So my group will be presenting on La Cultura, Cura, and my name is Ingrid Franco.
My name is Janet Rodriguez.
I'm Edgar Gasca.
And so for our presentation, we wanted to talk about the main concept of culture. And so one of the main things that Martha Miranda said, the presenters told us, was that it's important to know where you come from so that you know where to go. And so I found that quote very inspiring because you have to remember where your culture and your roots lie in order to help you succeed in the future. For example, I know that my family values education. My mom has previously told me that one of the things that she really hoped that I would take advantage of is the education system so that I would be able to get a good income and have a stable life and everything. And that's what she wished for me. So education is something that's very important within the Hispanic Latinx community. And one of the concepts that Martha had brought up was the idea of, instead of spending a lot of money towards a one-day event of a quinceañera where you can have the extravagant dress and the big ballroom, you could invest that money instead for your college career. And so one of the things that she had mentioned was thinking about saying, like, Padrino, can you pay for this one class? Madrina, can you pay for this one book? You know, Padrino, can you help pay towards my meal plan type of thing? And so that is an instance in which you could be able to use your culture to help build leadership in gaining that higher education. And so while that concept is very interesting, and I hope to use it for my children in the future for when I have kids, I felt like it would be cool to use the same concept but towards men as well, because it's important to you know, to support both genders throughout college, because we are a minority and we need all the support that we can get.
So, going off with what Ingrid stated about culture, our cultural and professionalism can also go in together. Something that that Martha brought up was ancestral teachings, and she stated those as: you are wanted, you are a blessing, you have a sacred purpose, you have teachings, and you are saved by prayers. And those ancestral teachings really got to me, because at the end of the day, like, no matter where we are, we're always going to feel like we don't belong, but we make a huge impact to the society that we're in today. And without us, there wouldn't be a lot of things like agriculture. Like, that's our ancestors right there who've been doing this from the start. And a word that she also stated was personalismo, and she described that word as: every person is recognized and treated with dignity and respect. And that also falls in into our ancestral teachings, because we're, ever since like we're younger, we're always taught to like respect our elders, or like always act a certain way in public because of who's around us and how they make us look. So that's how we also gain our professionalism, because we know how to act in certain places where we know that we're not welcomed. But because we don't let those barriers come into our way, we're able to succeed and continue on with what we believed in in our daily lives.
So another topic that the presentation talked about was activism and leadership in the community, and how this connects to the Cultura Cura, which is how our culture heals and strengthens us during times of hardship, is that our culture, we're able to remember leaders like Cesar Chavez, Sylvia Mendez, but also people in our lives who served as leaders, like our mentors or our family members. And this kind of leads me to my first point that I wanted to talk about, which was that leadership can also be more than just like protesting against injustice. And I feel like this is the type of leadership that we've seen the most, like in social media and any other types of news, because we notice when people take action, but I feel like what we should take more notice of is when members of our community are able to become professionals and succeed. And I feel like we got to see a lot of that at USHLI. We got to see a lot of people who overcame their situations and really became like really inspirational people. And one of the leaders that I learned about that I've heard like 2 times during the conference was Maria Hinojosa, who is the founder, president, and CEO of Futuro Media Group, which is like a radio show that is played in the National Public Radio. And I was really curious about this presentation because before her radio show, I didn't know that the Latino community had like an outlet, had someone who was out there kind of like speaking um, and like telling our stories. Like, for example, one of her most recent posts is discussing how the coronavirus is impacting low income immigrants and how they're dealing with the struggle of like not having a lot of resources during this time. And this made me realize that it's really important that we have leaders like Maria who can tell like our stories, because this means that if it's not someone in our community speaking for us, then it gives the freedom for any other person to start telling our stories and start just labeling us however they want.
So another thing that Marta brought up was dichos, and dichos are like sayings that we grew up hearing a lot. And a dicho that stood out to us was "Mientras más se vive, más se ve," and to me that basically means like the more like I see in life, I will be able to succeed. And what I mean by that, like with the "Mientras más se vive," like I was honestly, I feel like I was blessed by going to USHLI and like attending this conference, because I never attended a conference surrounded with my own kind of people, like who I can describe that look like me or like come from the same background as me. And with Más Se Ve, like I was able to see, like even though it was Chicago, like I've never been to like downtown Chicago, or like see so many like empowering Latina figures in my life. So I was able to see more like outside of my bubble and outside of like my family and outside of like that culture that I've known, but like I was able to expand on it some more. So that would be what this dicho means to me.
For me, the dicho means that, as Janet had said, that different things come from different life experiences that you get exposed to. For me, it's been more of things like attending workshops and going to events and being parts of different kinds of clubs. For example, like I didn't grow up with much of my family ever like dancing to traditional dances. It's normally something basic or modern like bachata or cumbia that I grew up dancing to. However, through my experiences through different clubs and everything, I was able to learn about different kinds of folklorico dances and all the different like historical background behind each piece. And so that's just what the phrase means to me.
And what I would say the phrase means to me, mientras más se vive, más se ve, I feel like before I went to the conference, I wasn't really considering how much me like succeeding and becoming like a professional meant to me and like the community, because seeing all the leaders and all the people who were hosting the workshops, it made me notice that when a member of our community succeeds, it's not just them, it's the person who's leading the way for others to succeed with them. It's lifting us up so that we can help another person. And this, I feel like, is the way that we're gonna proceed for the future of the Latinx community. I feel like if we put more of us in the positions of power, that we're gonna be able to just make things better for us and just get the things that we want to see done for us.
Thank you for listening.
Yep. Thank you.